The Torah calls Rosh Hashana Yom Tru'ah. Yom Tru'ah Yelachem. Yom Tru'ah means the day of blasts, the day of shofar blasts. Tru'ah, according to the Chozem Lublin, is from the shorish of re'ut, camaraderie, friendship. In fact, in Sefer Nehemiah, in the 8th chapter, he mentions there that on Rosh Hashana they would send mishloach manot. This is not Purim, this is Rosh Hashana. They would send mishloach manot. It says, Vayomer lehem kechu ichlu mashmanim, ushtru mamtakim, v'shilchu manot. Perhaps this is the source of Rosh Hashanah greeting cards. But the question begs that what does re'ut and mishloach manot have to do with the theme of Rosh Hashanah? Rosh Hashanah is the inauguration of God as Melech Malchei Hamlachim, as Adon Olam. Therefore, the theme of Tefillah of Rosh Hashanah is Malchut, God's kingship. The Baal Shem Tov teaches that a king without any subjects isn't much of a king. The president is only the president because everyone recognizes him as such. If I decide today that I'm the prime minister, then what kind of prime minister am I when nobody recognizes me as the prime minister? I'm not quoted in the newspapers, my policies are not instituted, I don't have a security detail, and nobody will take a bullet for me, well, maybe except for Melanie. I can call myself whatever I want, but the reality is dictated by the masses. Therefore, it's our declaration of Hashem Hu HaElokim that elevates the Malchut of Hashem. But more than that, by coming together in Re'ut, by uniting under the Kanfi HaShechina, we Kavyachol increase God's Malchut in the world. Perhaps that is why the Zohar teaches that Rosh Hashanah is Besod B'toch Ami Anochi Yoshavet. In Sefer Malachim, Elisha Hanavi is looking to repay the kindness of the Isha HaShunamit. And all she asks of Elisha is B'toch Ami Anochi Yoshavet. All I want is to be among my people, to experience Ahava, Achva, Shalom, V're'ut. Teaches the Zohar that this is what Rosh Hashanah is all about. B'toch Ami Anochi Yoshavet. Perhaps this is also part of the reason why we blow the shofar. The same shofar that announces Kibbutz Galuyut, the ingathering of the exiles, is sounded in Ellul and Rosh Hashanah, is sounded for the gathering and unity of Am Yisrael. The Ishbitzer Rebbe asks, why don't we ask for mechila, for forgiveness on Rosh Hashanah? On Yom Kippur, if I did something wrong to my fellow Jews, so I asked for mechila, because we're two individuals, one who upset another. However, in Rosh Hashanah, Am Yisrael is one. And just as one hand that struck the other hand wouldn't ask mechila from the other hand, so too teaches the Ishbitzer that we don't need to ask mechila because we are one. Teaches Rav Shlomo Carlebach that after Tefillah on Rosh Hashanah, we should be overwhelmed with Ahavat Yisrael, for our love for our fellow Jew, to the point where we can't even ask for mechila. We're so beyond that. Therefore, the notion of Re'ut on Rosh Hashanah is not just complementary to the theme of Malchut, but also a prerequisite for successful judgments on Yom Hadin. Another level is introduced by a teaching that I heard from my Rebbe, Rav Mordechai Machla Shlita, who heard from his Rebbe, Rav Avigdor Miller Zatzal, that in Kohelet it teaches the 9th Perek, Ki mi asher yichubar el kol hachayim yesh bitachon, that there is security to those who are joined to all of the living. Rav Miller explains that the more connected we are to people, the more security we have on Judgment Day. And he explains how this works. The more people that I'm connected to, if Hashem decides that something has to happen to me as a punishment, then the more people that are connected to me, the more people are affected by the judgment that is upon me, or the punishment that is upon me. And therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has to look at each individual who will be affected by this punishment, and also judge them to see if they really deserve that punishment, even though it's only affecting one individual. Therefore, the more people that you are connected to, the less likely punishment will be upon you. In order to have a successful Rosh Hashanah, both collectively and individually, we need to connect in a deeper way to our fellow Jew. However, there are many relationships that unfortunately are strained and broken. There are many people who feel alone, who feel alienated, who feel anger, hatred, resentment, or pain due to the insensitivity on the part of others. And repairing these relationships, I believe, is critical to the preparation for Rosh Hashanah. I'm sure many of you are thinking to yourselves that this is easier said than done. And of course, this is almost always true about anything that's meaningful. Nevertheless, I believe that science can give us an insight into how to get us into the Rosh Hashanah spirit. I read from Dr. Deepak Chopra that after 1 year, 98% of the atoms in your body have been exchanged for new ones. Your skin replaces itself once a month. Your stomach lining every 5 days. Your liver every 6 weeks. Your skeleton every 3 months. Every year we are literally a new person. If you are upset at someone or angry at somebody for the way they acted towards you last year, realize that they are literally, scientifically, not the same person anymore. Rosh Hashana is a new beginning, a clean slate to begin anew. It should also be the time when we afford those who may have hurt us or offended us another chance. Just as Hashem gives us another chance, so should we to our friends and family. The central prayer of Slichot that we repeat over and over again is the Yud Gimel Midot Shel Rachamim, the 13 attributes of God's mercy. In Masechet Rosh Hashana, God tells Moshe after Chet Egel, say these words, the Yud Gimel Midot Shel Rachamim, and you will be forgiven. Hashem, Hashem, Kel Rachum Mechanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed V'Emet. Is this some kind of magic formula? We don't believe that in Judaism. There are no magic formulas. There's not hocus pocus. The Gemara explains that you can't just say the words and be forgiven. Rather, you must make these midot of rachamim your own. You must be rachum. You must be chanun. You must be erech apayim, Rav Chesed V'Emet. And then Hashem will be that to you. There surely are people who have turned against us, disrespected us, were disloyal and hurtful to us. Just as we may have turned against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, disrespected Hashem, been disloyal, ignored Hashem. If we want HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be patient with us, compassionate to us, and to forgive us, then we have to be patient, slow to anger, and forgiving to others. At the end of the Zichronot section of Musaf on Rosh Hashana, we say, Ki zocher kol hanishkachot ata. It is you, Hashem, that remembers all forgotten things. I like to suggest another way of reading this tefillah. Hashem remembers when we choose to forget. Meaning that if someone says or does something hurtful and we forget about it, Hashem remembers that we didn't hold a grudge. We let things slide. And in turn, HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgets and lets go of our avirot. Likrat Yom Hadin, we need to let go of the sources of our anger, our hatred, our pain, our hurt. Ki zocher kol hanishkachot. On Rosh Chodesh Ellul, Moshe ascended to Har Sinai to receive the Luchot Shniyot. The first Luchot, as you know, were shattered by Moshe after Chet Egel. So many people thought this was the end. We messed up. There's no getting back the Luchot. But on Rosh Chodesh Ellul, we get another chance. We get a second Luchot. The Gemara compares man to the Luchot. The Gemara teaches that a Talmid Chacham who forgot his learning is compared to the Shivrei Luchot, which are included in the Aron. Rav Machlis, my Rebbe, teaches that each of us experience the shattering of the Luchot. There are some mitzvot that we didn't keep. We may feel spiritually shattered. But the significance of Moshe receiving the Luchot Shniyot on Rosh Chodesh Ellul is to remind us that in our own lives there are Luchot Shniyot. All we need to do is metaphorically pick ourselves up and walk up our spiritual mountain to start again, to begin again. Just like we want God to give us the chance to receive the Luchot Shniyot, so too we must give our families and friends a second chance as well. Ellul is not just about fixing our broken relationship with God. It's also about fixing our relationship with our family and friends. Ellul is a time to pick up the broken pieces of our lives and our relationships. It is a time to hitna'ari me'afar kumi, to pick ourselves up from the dust, from the despair, and recognize that Hashem is extending His hand to us and giving us another chance, giving us Luchot Shniyot. Be'ezrat Hashem, I bless you, this Ellul will be a month of second chances, both for us and for Am Yisrael, giving second chances to others and to ourselves, realizing that we can climb the mountain again and attain spiritual heights despite the mistakes of our past. Wishing all a ketiva v'chatima tova and a Yom Tov Sameach, Shana Tova Metuka.